Hi everybody, Bill Doolittle here for the Wellspring Derby Preview Party, which comes up April 25th, previewing the Kentucky Derby, which is May 6th, the first Saturday in May. This is the 143rd running of the Kentucky Derby. Just 10 days back before that, we'll have the Derby Preview Party, the Wellspring Derby Preview Party, where we will talk about who is going to win the Kentucky Derby. I'm going to save the winner for that. I mean, I know now who's going to win the Derby. I just don't want to quite let it out, but it's probable, you may hear it if you listen. So anyhow, I've got, you know, we're just starting the Derby season. I've already got tons of paper here and tons of horses' names, and already the big horse, the old big horse, has now been beaten, and we have a new big horse. The old big horse, the one that everybody was talking about over the winter, was Classic Empire, and I think he still might be pretty good. So I'm not going to quite throw him out yet. He has loyal connections, and he's a pretty good horse. Was a 2-year-old champion, but he got thumped at Gulfstream Park in Florida last week. And so I don't know. The horse that beat him is the new, everybody's talking about horse, Irish War Cry. And you know what the Irish War Cry is? It's beat Cromwell. Well, that's a joke. But anyhow, we'll get rid of Irish War Cry. Don't worry about him. He'll be the hottest horse on earth until March 17th. And then, you know, all the Irish people they'll forget about him. They'll get involved in something else. Anyhow, that's the two top horses so far. The old top horse, Classic Empire. The new top horse, Irish War Cry. I don't really like either one of them very well. The one I like best is a 3-horse. It's 3 G's. I like horses that start with the letter G this year. One is Gormley out in California. He's owned by Ann Jerry Moss. They won the Kentucky Derby before with Giacomo, sticking with the G's. And this Gormley is a pretty nice horse. He's been winning, and he's got a good pedigree, and he has some distance blood in his female side of his pedigree, so that's always good, especially with me. I don't really like the horses that are just speedsters trying to hold on. So that's Gormley out in California, and someday or other I'll find out what Gormley really means, because I don't know now, and I could make something up, but I'm not going to. Also, we got Guest Sweet, who's in New Orleans training, and the thing that I liked about Guest Sweet, and he won the other day, was that he won on a sloppy track in New Orleans, where the track is very similar. I think when it gets wet, it's very similar to Churchill Downs when it gets wet. So if it comes up sloppy, he'd be a horse to look for. Guest Sweet. The third G is a horse called Gunnevera, and he's the one I talked about last time we talked, and I'll probably talk about him every time till you get sick of him. But his name's Gunnevera. He's got a really fine distance pedigree, and I think he's pretty tough. And he finished second to Irish War Cry, and of course, you know, with Irish in the name, everybody ran out on the track and goes, oh, the new conquering hero, an Irish horse, and didn't pay any attention to Gunnevera. But I think he might be more prominent coming up, so we'll see how he does. He does wear four bandages, and they're blue, 4 blue bandages, and that's, you know, you usually don't want to see more than 2. But that's another story for another time. That's Gormley and Gunnevera and Guest Sweet, and we talked about Classic Empire. Boy, we got a lot of horses to talk about. We talked about Irish War Cry. Here's one, McCracken. I'm throwing him out. They don't know how to spell his name. And No Dozing. We've talked about him last week. He's another horse. He hasn't made his first start this year, and I have a feeling he might be pretty good. He's by Union Rags. And that's No Dozing, always a good thing to not be doing, or thing to be doing. And finally, a horse that won last week in New York, his name's El Arib, which means that after you've talked in front of a camera for a long time, you need El Abir. Thanks. Bill Doolittle here for the Wellspring Derby Preview Party, and we'll be looking for you April 25th at the Wellspring Derby Preview Party, previewing the 143rd Kentucky Derby.